It started as an ordinary day at Maplewood High. The school hallways buzzed with chatter, lockers slammed shut, and teachers hurried to their classrooms, coffee cups in hand. Among the students was Emma, a quiet junior who often kept to herself. She preferred the solace of the library over the chaos of the cafeteria. That day, however, her usual routine was interrupted when she stumbled across an old, leather-bound journal tucked away in a forgotten corner of the library. Its cover was faded, the title illegible, but the strange symbols etched into the leather caught her attention. Inside, the pages were filled with cryptic notes and sketches of bizarre rituals, all written in a shaky hand. Emma couldn't shake the feeling that the book was calling to her. As the day progressed, Emma became consumed by the journal. She took it to her next class, unable to focus on the lesson. The more she read, the more she felt an inexplicable connection to its contents. The sketches seemed to move when she glanced at them, and the words felt as if they were being whispered directly into her mind. By lunchtime, Emma was pale and trembling, her appetite gone. Her friends, noticing her distress, asked if she was okay, but she brushed them off, mumbling something about being tired. That night, Emma couldn't sleep. The journal sat on her desk, emanating a strange energy. She found herself drawn to it again, flipping through its pages until she came across a detailed map of the school. One area was circled in red, the abandoned basement. A note beneath it read, "Do not enter. They are waiting." Despite the warning, Emma felt compelled to investigate. The next day, she skipped her last class and made her way to the basement. The air grew colder with each step she took, the fluorescent lights flickering ominously. The basement door creaked open, revealing a dark, damp space littered with old furniture and broken equipment. In the center of the room, a strange symbol was painted on the floor, identical to the ones in the journal. As Emma stepped closer, she felt an overwhelming sense of dread. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind her. Emma's scream echoed in the empty basement. She turned to the door, pounding on it, but it wouldn't budge. The air grew heavier, and a faint whispering filled the room. The symbol on the floor began to glow, and shadows materialized around it. Figures with hollow eyes and twisted forms emerged, their whispers turning into guttural growls. Emma froze in terror as one of the figures extended a skeletal hand toward her. Clutching the journal, she did the only thing she could think of. She began to recite one of the rituals written within it. The shadows recoiled, their growls intensifying. Emma's voice trembled as she continued, her eyes fixed on the glowing symbol. Just as the shadows lunged at her, a blinding light filled the room, and she blacked out. When Emma awoke, she was in a hospital bed. The sterile smell of disinfectant filled her nose, and the beeping of monitors echoed in her ears. A nurse entered the room, relief washing over her face when she saw Emma awake. "You're lucky to be alive," the nurse said. "You were found unconscious in the school basement. It's a miracle someone heard you scream." Emma's mind raced. The journal. She looked around the room, but it was nowhere to be found. Panic set in as she tried to explain what had happened, but the nurse dismissed it as a hallucination caused by stress. Days passed, and Emma was discharged from the hospital. She tried to move on, but the events of that night haunted her. Her dreams were plagued by the shadowy figures, their whispers echoing in her mind. She avoided the library and the basement, but the sense of being watched never left her. One evening, as she was unpacking her school bag, she froze. There, at the bottom of the bag, was the journal. Its cover was pristine, as if nothing had happened. A new note was written on the first page. "You opened the door. They are coming." Emma's blood ran cold. The shadows weren't confined to the basement. They were following her, and she had no idea how to stop them. The nightmares grew worse, the whispers louder. Emma's friends noticed her deteriorating state, but no one could help. She stopped sleeping, stopped eating, consumed by fear. And then, one night, she disappeared without a trace. The police found no signs of struggle in her home, only her empty bed and an open window. The journal was gone, leaving no evidence of its existence. Weeks turned into months, and Emma's case went cold. But students at Maplewood High began reporting strange occurrences, flickering lights, cold spots, and faint whispers in the library. Some claimed to see a pale figure with hollow eyes wandering the hallways at night. The school's basement was sealed off, but the unease lingered. Emma's story became a cautionary tale, a chilling reminder of the dangers lurking in the unknown. The journal was never found, but some say